beloveds. Welcome to another week of secret stand-up exploration. I'm trying out different things, and this week I want to talk about what my root canal taught me about strong foundations. I haven't actually had it yet. It's scheduled for next week. But in my consideration about what it is and why it's come up now, I've done some exploration and I've written a few things down. Okay? So I need to tell you about my week because it started out with this recommendation. After 2 deep cleanings and $2,000, I get this recommendation kind of out of the blue to get a root canal. Another $1,350. Luckily, there's a lot of other really good things going on in life. One of them has been provision. In a big way, this is an answered prayer in itself because the money was there. Yes, I charged it on the credit card, but I'll be able to pay that credit card off. Luckily, it also happened to be in the time where it's on the next billing cycle, so I'm sure there are a few of you out there who can relate to that being a blessing. When I walked out the door for that last cleaning appointment, I noticed a gardenia blooming right at nose level outside my front door. And somehow those things became the exact same story. So I go to the dentist, no pain, no symptoms, nothing. I feel fine. I'm just there for the cleaning. And the dentist looks at the x-rays and says, "There's something here, a shadow in the root." And she says, "We've got to do a root canal to save the tooth." Of course, my first instinct is dentists, they just want to make more money off of you. But I've been working on this understanding of a new way of thinking about natural life as being predator-free, as being free from victim-savior, or good guy, bad guy, or punishing and rewarding. So here I am in the dentist chair, just like, okay, well, all right. So this happens. I take it home and I do some research. And I learned something that I genuinely didn't know. That is, sometimes a root canal is needed on a tooth with absolutely no pain. Because if something inside the tooth dies quietly, no drama, no fanfare, you won't feel it. But if it's left alone, the quiet little situation can become a much bigger one. So the x-ray caught what the naked eye couldn't see, and the dentist caught what I couldn't feel. And here's where it got interesting for me, because I sat with that and I thought, this is actually a really good metaphor for how I've been praying in life and for how wisdom and provision works in my life. Sometimes love, good, God, whatever fits your world, is taking care of something in the unseen, 2/3 of reality, before it ever becomes a problem in the 1/3 you can see, in the physical. So to be able to spot a problem or a thing that's dying and wants to be replaced before it hurts, before it's obvious, before I even know how to ask. The dentist isn't the enemy. The dentist is on my tooth's side. The dentist is as innocent and pure at her essence as I am. There's nothing to fear from fear. So the x-ray isn't bad news. It's just more information than the naked eye has access to. Which, not coincidentally, I have been talking a lot about with my friends this week, and wanting more access to that unseen realm to inform my daily life. Now, a root canal, I learned it's not about weakness. It's literally a preservation procedure. They remove what's no longer living, clean the space, seal it up, and put a crown on it. And this tooth already has a crown on it. So the tooth can go on functioning perfectly, often for a lifetime. Sound familiar? I love the part where this becomes a living practical feedback of my spiritual practice of letting go. What no longer serves love, bringing it out into the light, letting it dissolve, not doing battle with it, not obsessing, but just cleaning out the old and bringing in the new. But the part where I get a crown after all that, that's a fun new addition to the process. A real crown, a real coronation after the rite of passage. Now that could make it fun. I'll still have to find a way to actually celebrate this in a fun way after the procedure. But until then, I know that I'm saved, restored, still standing, and this tooth is going to be able to still do its job. That got me thinking about what I've called my grateful ungratefuls. You know, the things that at the time look like a problem to solve, or a closed door, or a loss, or a no. That eventually turned out to be the most loving thing that could have happened. Sometimes they literally make me go, grrr. This week got a few of those. An organization that I was involved with ended over what I'll call lack of proper governance structures. And I sat with this phrase too until something cracked open in me, because the proper governance structure of my life, the real one, is love. Good God, that's the authority. And even when I go crashing ahead, enthusiastically, with all the best intentions, I'm protected. So when anything asks me to put something first, honestly, the answer's already written. I also had some long and luxurious, beautiful wandering conversations with friends that I thought were just talking. In fact, we have thousands of hours of these conversations, and we often pay each other in nonillions of dollars in the spiritual realm. And we tell each other that those dollars are earning dividends in multiple dimensions. And they are. Those long wandering conversations with friends always return to source, to love, and a life more abundant and free. Well, it also turned out to be the unlikely planning committee of my next chapter, the seedbed of joystalking.com. A few clicks later, and it's a real thing. You can book a session there now. Speaking of the gardenia, walking out my front door one morning on the way to the dentist appointment, I almost didn't stop. But the thing was right at nose level, as if it was waiting, like it also had an appointment at the exact right time. I did not plant that bush. I did not tend it. I did not ask for it. It was just there, already blooming. And then the next day, dozens more bloomed. Every time I pass, I make it a point to stop and smell the gardenias. And that's kind of how the whole week felt, honestly, like something was already blooming that I hadn't planted. Love obviously had been tending all the roots long before I knew there was a garden. So here's the question I'm leaving you with this week. And what in your life looks right now like a root canal that might actually be love preserving something really good in you, or making space for something brand new, cleaning up the old, and placing a crown on the place where you needed it most, on something sustainable, on something that will last, on a foundation that you can stand on and experience exalted growth. What's the thing that maybe felt like bad news that might be the most caring thing that could have shown up? Well, if you want to explore that question with someone, that's exactly what I do. It's called Joy Stalking, and you can find me at joystalking.com to book a one-on-one session. We'll find the gift. It's always there. I'm Jess, and this is Sacred Stand Up, and I'll see you next Sunday. Be loved, beloveds, and be love.